Here is a polished, professional, YouTube-ready article, no headings, approximately 1,600 words based on your provided Superman 2025 info. I've written it in an engaging, cinematic style perfect for a YouTube description, commentary video, or blog-style script. Superman is soaring back to the big screen in a bold, reimagined way as DC Studios launches its first full-length cinematic entry of the new DC Universe under the direction of James Gunn. This film marks a monumental moment in modern superhero storytelling, not only because it reintroduces one of the world's most iconic characters, but also because it reshapes what audiences can expect from the Man of Steel. Since his debut in Action Comics #1 in 1938, Superman has been a symbol of hope, courage and the belief that even in the darkest times, goodness remains. James Gunn's new vision embraces this core philosophy while infusing the story with fresh energy, emotional depth and a modern cinematic identity that aims to resonate with lifelong fans and new viewers alike. This new chapter in Superman's history arrives with an impressive creative force behind it. James Gunn, known for his signature blend of emotional storytelling, humor and epic scale, directs from his own screenplay. His approach promises a version of Clark Kent who is both familiar and refreshed, a hero driven not by the burden of his powers but by the compassion that defines him. Gunn has long expressed admiration for Superman as a character who genuinely believes in the goodness of humanity, and this film is crafted to bring that optimism front and center. At a time when many superhero stories lean toward darker interpretations, Superman stands apart as a beacon of light, a figure whose strength is matched only by his empathy. The film stars David Corenswet, whose previous work in projects like Twisters and Hollywood showcased both emotional nuance and quiet strength. His casting as Superman Clark Kent has generated massive anticipation, not only because he physically embodies the classic comic book look of the character, but also because of his ability to balance vulnerability and power. Early glimpses suggest a Superman who is deeply human in his values yet undeniably majestic in his heroic presence. Corenswet's interpretation is expected to lean into the duality of Clark and Superman, exploring how a man with godlike power maintains his humility, warmth and belief in the people he protects. Opposite him, Rachel Brosnahan brings her award-winning talent to the role of Lois Lane. Known for her sharp charisma and emotional intensity in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Brosnahan promises a Lois who is fearless, intelligent and deeply compelling. Lois Lane has always been more than just a love interest. She is one of the most iconic journalists in fiction, a force of truth, courage and independence. Brosnahan's performance is expected to embody the character's sharp wit and relentless drive, adding a dynamic chemistry with Corenswet that underlines the emotional heart of the film. Nicholas Hoult steps into the role of Lex Luthor, one of the most enduring and complex villains in comic book history. Hoult, known for roles in the X-Men franchise and films like Juror No. 2, brings a unique blend of intellect, intensity and unpredictability to the character. Lex Luthor has been portrayed in many ways over the decades, from brilliant businessman to mad scientist to political mastermind, and Gunn's universe is positioned to deliver a version that feels grounded, menacing and multi-dimensional. Hoult's talent for portraying morally ambiguous characters makes him an ideal fit for a villain whose motivations are rarely simple. Rather than being evil for the sake of evil, Lex is deeply personal and ideological conflict. With Superman is set to create a compelling central tension. Surrounding the core trio is a large and diverse ensemble cast, adding richness and depth to the world building of the new DC Universe. Eddie Gathegi, known for All Mankind, appears in a key role expected to expand Superman's mythos with nuance and energy. Anthony Carrigan, beloved for his performances in Barry and Gotham, joins the cast with a presence that promises charisma and emotional complexity. Nathan Fillion, a frequent collaborator with Gunn and a fan favorite from projects like Guardians of the Galaxy and The Suicide Squad, brings his distinct charm and comedic timing into the mix. Their involvement hints at a wider exploration of the DC universe within the film, setting the stage for future stories while keeping the focus firmly on Superman's personal journey. Isabella Merced, whose recent breakout roles include Alien Romulus, adds yet another layer of youth and intensity to the cast. Skylar Gasonda, from films like Licorice Pizza and Booksmart, contributes his relatable humor and sincerity. Sarah Sampaio, Maria Gabriela de Faria, Wendell Pierce, Alan Tudyk, Pruitt Taylor-Vince and Neva Howell round out the ensemble, creating a cinematic world filled with personality, stakes and emotional texture. Each supporting role has been crafted carefully to contribute to the film's larger emotional and thematic impact, reflecting James Gunn's commitment to storytelling that balances spectacle with heart. Behind the camera, Gunn is joined by frequent collaborators and a seasoned production team dedicated to crafting a Superman story that feels both epic and intimate. The film is produced by DC Studios heads Peter Safran and Gunn, two creators who have taken on the responsibility of reshaping the future of the DC universe with a unified vision. Their partnership, proven successful through projects like Peacemaker and The Suicide Squad, combines bold creativity with strategic world building. Executive producers Nicolas Corda, Chantal Nongvo and Lars Winther further strengthen the production, ensuring that every detail, from narrative structure to visual execution, meets the high expectations of fans around the world. This film represents a turning point not just for Superman, but for the entire DC universe. After years of mixed critical reception, shifting creative directions and inconsistent world building, DC Studios is embarking on a new chapter designed to restore audience confidence and deliver cohesive, emotionally resonant storytelling. Superman serves as the foundation of this universe, and the tone set by this film will ripple outward into future projects, shaping how fans perceive and connect with DC's heroes in the years ahead. James Gunn has spoken openly about his admiration for Superman as a character who embodies hope rather than cynicism. That philosophy is central to the film's identity. Instead of leaning into the darker or grittier interpretations that have become popular in recent decades, this film seeks to return Superman to his roots as an uplifting symbol. His compassion, kindness and unshakable moral clarity are not weaknesses, they are his greatest strengths. By emphasizing these qualities, the film aims to remind audiences why Superman has endured for more than 80 years as one of the most beloved fictional characters ever created. The story is expected to explore not only Superman's heroic responsibilities but also his relationships, challenges and internal conflicts. How does a man with extraordinary powers balance the weight of saving the world with the simple desire to live as an ordinary person? How does Clark Kent maintain his identity, his values and his connection to humanity in a world that sees him as a symbol rather than a person? These questions lie at the emotional core of the narrative, creating a Superman who is not defined solely by action but by heart. Visually, the film promises a mixture of grounded realism and striking superhero imagery. James Gunn is renowned for crafting worlds that feel vibrant, stylized and alive, and early production details suggest that Superman's world will be no different. From Smallville to Metropolis, the environments are expected to reflect both the emotional tone and thematic purpose of the story. Fans can likely expect a blend of classic Superman iconography with modern cinematic flair, bright skies, soaring flight sequences, powerful confrontations and moments of intimate humanity. As anticipation continues to build, Superman stands poised to be one of the most important superhero films of the decade. It marks the beginning of a new era for DC Studios, offering a fresh foundation built on heart, optimism and character-driven storytelling. With a talented cast, a visionary director and a renewed dedication to honoring the essence of the Man of Steel, this film aims to remind the world why Superman remains an everlasting symbol of hope. Whether you are a lifelong fan of the character or discovering him for the first time, this new cinematic journey invites audiences to believe once again in the power of heroes, the strength of compassion and the enduring truth that even in the face of darkness, hope can always rise. If you want, I can also create SEO title, description, keywords, and hashtags for this article.